What's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. If you're looking to stay current on the top cybersecurity news stories of the day while having entertainment, education, all blended together like one sweet chocolate vanilla swirl soft serve kind of dessert, then you're in the right place. Welcome to Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, coming to you live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. We're off and running on this beautiful Wednesday morning. I hope you're locked in and got your coffee. Let's get cooking. That's right, everybody. Good morning. I hope you are doing well this lovely Wednesday, February 18th, guys. Every single episode of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief is bringing the heat. We're going to cover the top 8 cyber stories of the day. Now, of course, you can get your own. Hey, what's up, Marlon J. Levincia? Listen, you can get the cyber news through your RSS feed. You can even have a little AI bot curate for you. But what we do here at Simply Cyber that is unlike anything else. It's multi-pronged, okay? It's like a trident. First of all, you're going to get way beyond the headlines, right? I've got 20 plus years of experience. You know, we're talking about best practices, things that you only learn from being in the seat. Number 2, you have the Simply Cyber community. So whether you're a solo operator at work or you're studying as a student trying to break in and you're looking for your tribe, the Simply Cyber community, supportive, inclusive, and all about good times is up in there. What's up, Rob Cooper? Good to see you in chat. And then 3, we just have fun here, guys. It's all about good times. So the show itself is fun, the community is awesome, and the knowledge is worthwhile. Now, speaking of that knowledge, let me tell you something, friend. Every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE, continuing professional education credit. So if you have these cybersecurity certifications that require maintenance, let me help you with that. Say what's up in chat. You will appear directly above my head because you're part of the show too. Grab a screenshot while you are on stream and include the title of this episode, which you'll notice says February 18th, episode 1071. That is a unique identifier for that screenshot and for this episode. Do it tomorrow, 1072. Do it the next day, 1073. All of this is so you assemble a evidence trail that you were here and basically are valid for claiming the CPE credits. Now, what does that mean? That means once a year, you count up those screenshots and divide by 2. Marcus Kyler, thank you very much. His AI news brief generator is not meant to upstage the amazing work you do. Thank you, Marcus. I saw your note about how you can't live down what you said at Simply CyberCon. Dude, it's all fun. It's all good. So anyways, get your CPEs here. Number 2, hey guys, we got a lot of fresh faces in the chat. If you are new to the show, to the community, maybe you listen on audio only and you're coming over to the live, maybe your work schedule changed and you've been team replay, but now you're here live. Whatever your situation is, if you're live with us right now for the first time, drop a hashtag first timer in the chat. Hashtag first timer. We love welcoming our first timers. We want you to know that this community is inclusive and welcoming. No stupid questions, right? That doesn't exist here. No judgment. None of that nonsense, okay? Ain't nobody got time for that. And the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, you can come and go as you please. You don't need a special code word or a special knock or anything like that. DJ BSEC is in the house. Good to see you, DJ BSEC. I've actually got a video coming out on March 1st, 2026 that has a shout out to DJ BSEC in it. Spoiler alert, DJ BSEC. All right, guys, it is Wednesday. We've just been rolling out a new segment. I don't even have the card for it, but it's Way Back Wednesday, where I pull up some kind of like antiquated tech or something from the from back in the day. And we kind of vibe on it. B. Duncan Third says, how about a first time in a while? Judges, yes, first time in a while. Hey, Sam Aid 4830, first timer. Welcome to the party, pal. Bites 85, first timer. Welcome to the party, pal. Look at us, guys. We got first timers for days up in here. Welcome to the party. Bad Child Cat, first timer on the live. Been listening for a few weeks. Thanks for the content. All right, guys. Hey, let's run this. Let's run this because we got first timers all over the place. Bad Child Cat at Bad Child Cat. At Sam Aid and at Bites at P Piljama Suit. Damn, guys, we got the I am the real big dude. I don't know. Did like somebody send a newsletter circular out or something? Get your John McClane's. If you are a squad member, John McClane, all the things. I think I have some gifted subs I'm going to give out right now just because of the first timers. This is sick, man. Can I do this? Membership gifting? I'm sending out 5 gifted subs right now just to recognize the first timers. I don't know who's going to get them. They've been thrown out into the chat. Boing! There we go. Woo! All right, Nerdpocalypse picking up 1. Scott B picking up 1. Rash Reflexin and Aaron DeCaster. Congratulations, guys. SK Conservative became a squad member. Welcome to the party, pal. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you all so very much. It's all about good times. I'm so happy that you guys are hearing about it. And you first-timers, like, listen, I know you're here for the first time. Don't think that that means you can't engage and, like, you have to, like, go through some initiation. None of that crap. You are here. Get right into it, right? Just, you know, put on the swimsuit and dive into the deep end. Welcome to the party, pal. Bruise and Hacks wants to blow the copyright strike out at the mid-roll. I think we should. Judges. All right, we're gonna blow out the copyright at the mid-roll. So let me rip through the sponsors. That way I don't have to cut it at the mid-roll. So really quick, guys, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including episode 1071, is sponsored. Thank you to the sponsors. Remember, there are links in the description below for all the sponsors. It does support the channel if you click on those sponsor links and check them out. Now, let me tell you first and all about anti-siphon training. Guys, anti-siphon training is absolutely disrupting, flipping the script on cybersecurity training and the industry itself. They make high-quality, cutting-edge education available to everyone. And I want to call your attention to this since John Strand sent this note out yesterday. John Strand is teaching cybersecurity foundations. This is a course authored by John Strand. It is 4 days, 4 hours per day, which means, which is cool because you can do your morning routine, your emails, whatever, and then you get 4 hours of training, and then you can wrap the day by, you know, closing out any fires that came up. So this isn't training where you have to like go away and miss a week of work and you come back to like an inbox with like 3,000 things in it. 4 days, 4 hours a day, 16 total hours, certificate of completion with 16 CPEs. You can take this training live for as little as $25. Dudes, I'm telling you, John Strand's one of the best, and this is an amazing training. So if your situation is you work in a different, industry, like you're in marketing, you're in retail, you're a K through 12 teacher, you are a stay-at-home parent going back in the workforce, you are a military person transitioning out, whatever your situation is, and you want to get a foundation, right here, John Strand Cyber Foundations. I'm going to drop a link in chat. This is not like, there's no link in the description for this specific training, but go ahead and scoop that up. I also want to say holla to Material Security, guys. Material. Now this splash page may not look as sexy or as interesting as others, but listen to me. Your cloud workspace, if you are a business, probably a small mid-sized business running Office 365 or Google Workspace, and you are tasked with doing all the things, your IT and cyber and other stuff, listen to this because Material can help you. Your cloud workspace is more than just email, so why does security stop there? Material delivers complete protection for Google Workspace and Microsoft 365, going beyond perimeter defenses to secure email, files, and accounts across your environment. With advanced AI detections and automated threat responses, Material correlates signals across the workspace to identify risks others miss, protecting sensitive data in inbox and shared files. Monitor accounts access in third-party apps and automates remediation. The result, you get to mature your security posture and scale protection without adding headcount to your workforce, which is dynamite. It's so much easier to ask for budget for a tool than it is for a new employee. Believe that. Ready to secure your entire workspace? Yes, please. Learn more at simplycyber.io/material. simplycyber.io/material. Now, again, we're doing all of these sponsor reads right now so we can party at the mid-roll. Hold on, I've got to show this video here. Let's see, Flare. Hold on 1 second. Where's the Flare video? Is this it? Hold on. Let's hear from ThreatLocker really quick, and then we're going to do Flare. All right? I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right, we're going to do the Flare right at the mid-roll, and then I'll blow out the copyright. And first timers, if you don't know what blow out the copyright is, you're in for a real treat at the mid-roll. All right, do me a favor, everybody. Samabite. I am the real big Mr. Jono. Sit back, relax, and just let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. Can't wait for the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. I'm Rich Straffolino. Hackers target anti-government protesters. Researchers at Acronis discovered a cyber espionage campaign targeting supporters of recent anti-government protests in Iran. Since early January, the threat actors distributed malicious files bundled with authentic protest footage and reports, deploying a previously undocumented malware dubbed Crescent Harvest. This operated as both an info stealer and remote access Trojan, obtaining credentials, browsing histories, Telegram information, and executing commands. Given the intended targets and the sophistication in avoiding detection, the researchers suggested it shows links to Iranian-aligned threat actors. Given ongoing internet blackouts in the country, the spike in peer-to-peer sharing of protest-related media has made this an effective distribution channel.
Okay, so a couple things here. For anyone who isn't working cyber in Iran, this is an interesting story, something to learn from, but not really something to take any action on. There's revolution in the air, right? Iran citizens are protesting against the government. Now, the government is essentially infecting the devices of those protesters for espionage capabilities. Now, of course, it doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out that by infecting the protesters, they can figure out who the humans are in their network. How are they organizing? How are they communicating? What are all their secrets? And then ultimately you swoop in and eradicate them. Again, I'm making some assumptions here. I'm being a little hyperbolic about what the action on an objective would be by the Iranian government on these protesters, right? Obviously, But by choosing kind of the extreme examples, we can do the risk analysis on the impact. This is not an uncommon approach, guys. Like when you are a centralized government with power, you don't want the people in power do not want their power unseated. We see this in authoritative regimes all the time. And honestly, it's not that different than what we've seen in China with Xi Jinping, kind of ruling with an iron fist, and not protesters, but like not anti-government, but counter-government citizens having to share information anonymously through like airdrop on subways and stuff like that. Just so, because if you're openly against the government, you get rounded up and re-educated. Okay. Just without getting too dark here, look at what's happened to the Uyghur population in Northwest China and the re-education campaign going up there. They don't talk about it too much, but just trust me, Google it. So for me personally, this is a life lesson, right? Because listen, this can happen in the United States. This can happen in United Kingdom. This can happen in, Ghana. Like this can happen anywhere, right? It's a leverage of power. Now, the interesting thing, if you want to get into the details, is they say in the story, they do not understand how the initial infections are occurring. But think about this. Like if I had to guess, how trivial is it to be a, pro-federal or a state-sponsored, government employee or whatever, and just pretend to be a revolutionist, pretend to be a counter-government person, and share some materials with like-minded professionals. Like, people are going to open those files. People are going to click on those links, right? Like, instantly. People are going to install whatever you tell them because they think that you're part of, the revolution. And so, the initial infection's like kind of easy. All right. This is interesting. I had no idea that this was happening in Iran. I want to get more educated on what's going on in Iran, since I don't know, I've heard some speculation that there might be like a global conflict that involves Iran and other countries.
UK launches Lock the Door cybersecurity campaign. The UK government recently released a cybersecurity longitudinal survey showing that 82% of businesses experienced some form of cyber incident within the past year. This comes as 30% of businesses admit to following the government's Cyber Essentials frameworks. In response, the UK will run a campaign across social media, business networks, radio, and podcasts to directly encourage SMEs to adopt these cybersecurity basics, which focus on patching software and maintaining strict access controls. The campaign will also point organizations to free online cyber readiness checks, a 30-minute chat with NCSC advisors, and preview certification questions for Cyber Essentials.
Okay. Sure. So 80% of UK businesses, it says still leave the door open. This is a anecdotal statement that this is like an analogy. Like, this doesn't tell me anything. What the hell does still leave the door open? They don't have MFA. They leave, RDP port 3389 open to the internet. Like, what does this mean? Like, I get that it's a title of a story, so they're not going to break it down. But let's see what's going on here. Incidents remain routine. Baseline protections are still patchy. Yep. 82% of businesses and 77% of charities, which, by the way, are still businesses, they're just nonprofits, have said some form of incident over the past year. 54% experienced the same incident. Okay. What is this is annoying. Like, where's okay. Okay, so the story is dumb. Okay, I'm sorry.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
All right, so this story points to a bunch of statistics that businesses have cyber incidents. my guy, like if if one of my employees falls for a phishing email, that's a cyber incident. Like, so, if my business gets hit with Lockbit ransomware and my business is down for 2 weeks, that is very different than Carl in accounting gives up his password to an account that has multi-factor authentication. We catch it and reset the password. It still counts those both count as an incident. There's just wildly different risk or impact associated with those. So like this story gives me no actual detail. The story itself is about how the United Kingdom government's trying to help out private sector businesses get their crap together. This is totally on brand for the UK. They have been on a massive go get them secured push recently, both at the federal level and kind of at the private sector level. Remember last year, several high profile incidents hit them. Their national health system got hit by WannaCry in 2017. Marks and Spencer, whatever. Roswell UK always gets pissy when I say it incorrectly, but like the co-op, like they had massive retail hits. Klopp ransomware took down some type of water municipality. So the UK has been getting absolutely slapped around like it's like just hey, right? So they're pushing for it. They're trying to help out. Now, let me point something out that I find, I don't want to say comical, but like real. Okay. First of all, this, if anything, this just reinforces what I already believed. My guy, like I spend, you spend, we all spend tons of time trying to convince our business, our executive team to fund cybersecurity. We spend tons of time trying to convince Carl in accounting not to click on dumb stuff. Carl! We try to tell people, whoa, like we're not saying you can't use AI, but let's just put some guardrails in place. Let's just have some governance, right? Yeah. And the business is like, no, we're moving fast. We're breaking things. So like this story right here, like this right here should come as no surprise. Like we literally deal with, this is why we have a job. This is why some of us self-medicate when we get home from work, because we are running into this wall over and over and over and over again. So for the UK government to push a campaign, we'll see what kind of impact that has. The business isn't listening to the people that they give money to help secure the business. Why would they be listening to the government with PSAs? The only thing I will say, just as a quick little, the first thing that came to my mind, there was a government-backed campaign that had wildly successful results in the 80s in the United States, okay? And this is not a drink. I'm not an old person. It's just true. Did you know if the UK government launches this cyber lockdown campaign and does it well, this could result in better outcomes for the private sector? In the 1980s, it was considered very uncool to wear your seatbelt in your car. I'm not joking. It was super uncool to wear your seatbelt in a car. There was like public outrage that you would be required by law to wear your seatbelt. People be like, ain't got time for that. How's the government going to tell me to wear a seatbelt? I'm wearing a suit. I don't want my suit screwed up, right? And then the U.S. government tried everything. And then eventually, I guess this was in the 90s, felt like the 80s. Eventually, they came out with Vince and Larry. Oh my God. Vince and Larry, the crash test dummies. I don't know if you guys remember this, and you youngs probably don't, but like, dude, they had it. These two guys had their own like commercial campaign, and like essentially it was like they're dummies, they're crash test dummies, and essentially they made an equivalent, like if you don't wear your seatbelt, you're a dummy. So socially, like, are you a dummy? And no one wants to be a dummy, right? So then people are like, I'm not a dummy. I can put a seatbelt on. And it's like, okay, go put a seatbelt on. And like, this was wildly successful at changing the overall behavior of all U.S. citizens. So anyways, long story short, Like, just know that the UK government or any of these public service things can be successful. They just have to be executed correctly.
Cellebrite linked to phone hack on Kenyan politician. Citizen Lab released a report claiming that it found signs that Kenyan authorities use Cellebrite's phone cracking software against human rights activist and presidential candidate Boniface Mwangi following his arrest in July. Mwangi was alerted to this intrusion when his phone no longer required a password to unlock. The researchers found evidence of data exfiltration from the phone, including plans for his presidential run. In response, Cellebrite said it maintains a rigorous process for reviewing allegations of technology misuse.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Sorry for the look. If you're watching on stream, I had the story as a small, my big face. All right. So Kenyan presidential candidate has forensic evidence suggesting its phone was cracked. Now, Cellebrite is not spyware. So Cellebrite allows you to, at least my understanding is that it allows you to unlock a phone and be able to dump data from it. Now, this guy, Boniface Mwangi, presidential candidate in Kenya, got arrested in July. And when you get arrested, the police take your stuff. You can't stop them. Now, normally, if you got your phone locked down and you're not going to give your PIN up, the government, law enforcement's like, screwed. But if they have a special tool like Cellebrite, they can just bypass that and dump all your stuff. Massive invasion of privacy, abuse of power, and Cellebrite's trying to take the high road, saying, "Oh, we only allow law enforcement to use it for the right reasons or for good reasons or whatever." But my guy, like, I got to tell you, like, people in power will abuse power. This is why having like a massive surveillance network to catch bad guys is like, could be weaponized. All right. Cellebrite has legal grounds to say we only allow it for righteous causes, and they prove it or whatever, and they sell the license to law enforcement. But then the human, like the actual human person, the guy or the lady who works at the law enforcement place with the Cellebrite thing, they can abuse their power. And in this case, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but this guy is a presidential candidate and his phone got compromised, right? So we see this all the time, right? Go look at the, not to get you guys all excited about Prestige Worldwide, but just as another example, this happened in 2020. This guy right here, presidential candidate in the Catalina region, not to be confused with the Catalina wine mixer, had his phone targeted by government-grade spyware by guess who? The current in power party of the Catalan region, right? So I don't care what you say. Like, everybody wants to be like on the righteous side of all the things, but people in power, this is a fact. People in power want to keep their power. That's why that's why the United States transfer of power for the president is like considered such a coveted like ceremony, because people in power don't want to give it up. And they will use all the resources at their disposal in order to maintain that. And this right here is what's up. So Cellebrite's not going anywhere. So unfortunately, that's what's up. I will say this: if you're concerned about having your phone, like if you have super sensitive information on your phone and you're concerned about it, does Apple lockdown mode prevent Cellebrite? I'm not sure. Apple has this new lockdown mode. See how I'm looking at this right now. Of course, this is Gemini. Look at it. All right, so this is according to just some random on Apple community. I'm not going to Basically, the lockdown mode can prevent Cellebrite and Grayshift from working correctly. That does not stop you from Pegasus spyware. I don't know definitively, but just know not everybody really needs the lockdown mode, but just if you have like a high-ranking CEO or you're ultra paranoid, personally, check it out. Obviously, when you add security, you lose functionality and usability, right? So those are the trade-offs you have to make.
Pentagon is considering Anthropic as a supply chain risk. According to Pentagon sources speaking to Axios, the Department of War is considering naming Anthropic as a supply chain risk, a category usually reserved for foreign adversaries. Currently, Anthropic's LLMs are the only ones approved for use on classified information and have been verified as used in active military operations. The ban seems to be a response to continued negotiations with Anthropic on how the LLMs can be used by the Pentagon, with Anthropic holding a hard line against using it for mass surveillance of U.S. citizens and for unmanned weapons development. Naming Anthropic a supply chain risk would cut it off from government contracts, and government suppliers could not use Anthropic in their own workflows.
All right. Not a political show. Not a political show. What I want to tell you right here, if Anthropic is a supply chain risk, then explain to me how OpenAI is not a supply chain risk. Explain to me how any AI is not a supply chain risk. The Pentagon allegedly used Anthropic on the Venezuelan President Maduro kidnapping, or I don't even know if that's the right term to use politically speaking, but like the operation where Maduro came to visit the United States, like however you want to put it. To me, and I'm going to, listen, I do try to keep this incredibly apolitical and stuff, but I'm going to take a small step and put my toe in the circle. This to me smacks, absolutely smacks with a veiled threat to Anthropic from the U.S. government. I don't know what it is the U.S. government wants here from them. Maybe better rates, maybe spying capability. I don't know, whatever it is. But this right here, when you threaten, literally, Pentagon threatens the Department of War, the Department of Defense, the Gulf of America, like whatever you want to call the friggin' Department of the military and the U.S. government, they are the largest, business in the U.S. federal government. The U.S. federal government is one of the largest employers / businesses in the world. The Department of Defense is the largest of the agencies under that. What does that all mean? Straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
That means that they have tons of money. And you know what Anthropic is? A private business that wants to generate revenue. So when the largest employer threatens you of cutting you off, how do you avoid this? How do you avoid being cut off? You bend the knee. That, to me, that's what this is. Because how can you say Anthropic is a supply chain risk and none of the other ones are, bro? It will be an enormous, a senior official said it will be an enormous pain in the ASS, very classy, a pain in the A to disentangle, and we're going to make sure that they pay a price for forcing our hand like this. Again, my guy, it will be enormously painful to disentangle. Brosif, you are on Microsoft 365. Show me, Department of War, how quickly you can pivot to Azure or Google Workspace. You're fully entangled in Microsoft technologies. So are we going to threaten Microsoft? This is absolute whatever. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep it apolitical. This is just I'm not even the smartest guy in the room, right? I'm a dummy, and I can see how transparent this is.
And now, thanks to today's episode sponsor, Conveyor. Most of what Conveyor automates is boring. Really boring. Security questionnaires, customer requests for things like your SOC 2, all of their follow-up questions, answering tickets from your sales team. You know what's not boring? Alteryx using Conveyor to support over $500 million in enterprise deals with a small 4-person team. All they did was set up an AI trust center and use Conveyor's AI agent to complete questionnaires. Learn more at conveyor.com. That's CONVEYOR.com. Identity.
All right. Hey, we're at the mid-roll. Really quickly, I do want to say thank you all for being here. Remember, the stream sponsors, they do help support the channel, just like you guys do. So if you are getting value from the stream, not only tell a friend, hit the like button if you enjoy it, but go check the stream sponsors out, okay? ThreatLocker, Anti-Siphon Material, and Flare. Real quick word with Flare. Guys, Flare is doing a 2-week free trial for their cyber threat intelligence platform. Let me show you what that looks like. You're watching a real-time feed right now of that platform. I have used this platform. This platform is phenomenal. You do have to fill out a verification form. If you go to simplycyber.io/flare, simplycyber.io/flare, you will get that verification form. If you're a legit person, you'll have no problem getting it. If you're a criminal, you will not get access. There's too much valuable information in here. Flare's threat intelligence platform allows you to query all the dark web data they've curated, all the info stealers, all the Telegram channels. You can drop in your own domain and quickly find out if you have any compromised assets out on the dark web. So let's say you have crappy EDR and you've got tons of compromised assets and you have no idea. You will find out because they know that the threat actors are talking about it. That's what makes this platform so awesome and so powerful. Go check it out. Don't take my word for it. 2-week trial. Listen, I used it for a week, and I'd say within the first 4 hours, I was like, holy crap, the value train on this thing is out of control. I'm telling you, go check it out. There's no risk. It's a 2-week trial. If you don't like it, no big deal. Simplycyber.io/flare. All right, hey, you first-timers, guess what we're doing? Also, there was handheld games, 1980s, football. I wish I could remember what it was. There was like a track and oh yeah, these things. Holy crap! Mattel had a lock on this. Like Steam decks had nothing on this. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember this. Like I was too young to even understand how to use this thing, but I remember like grinding on it. And heaven forbid you get to grandma's house and the batteries are dead on this thing. Like, by the way, like ST, SC, those buttons on the left, what do they do? Start, and then what's SC? Anyways, you were pretty legit if you had this game right here. So, anyways, I hope you guys vibe on this. Obviously, nowadays, this is the equivalent. The kids will never know. Like, we've come a long way, baby. Moby said it best, right? Or Fatboy Slim said it best. This is the equivalent of today. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. That was kind of fun. I thought it was fun. Way back Wednesday. We're kind of working on it. Again, thank you so very much. Let's do the laws really quick. Throwback was I'll have to check with Casually Joseph as our resident Gen Z, but hopefully that way back segment felt good for everybody. Let's keep going. Let's finish strong, shall we?
Identity abuse behind most attacks. As is quickly becoming cliche, threat actors aren't breaking in, they're logging in. A new report from Palo Alto's Unit 42 found that identity-based techniques were behind roughly 2/3 of all initial network access in 2025 that they responded to. Social engineering was the most common method, but compromised credentials, poor identity policies, insider threats, and good old brute force attacks were all in the mix. Vulnerability exploits accounted for roughly 22% of initial intrusions in the report. Most of the attacks Unit 42 responded to were financially motivated, with median payments up 87% on the year to $500,000 US. Man arrest.
Shout out to everybody in chat who's explaining what the STSC button does. You know, when you're 7-year-old Jerry, you're like you push it and like nothing happens on the screen. So you're like, I don't need this. All right. Unit 42, which has Palo Alto Networks, kind of MDR/threat intelligence group that have a variety of employees working there of different experience levels. Identity-based attacks are exploding as poor security controls stretch across a widening mosaic of integrated tools and systems. Yes. Honestly, the reporter on this one, I think, said it perfectly. And this could be, I almost would argue that you should steal this for yourself when you're talking to the business. Threat actors are not breaking in, they're logging in. I mean, that statement alone speaks volumes. Identity is the new perimeter, period, full stop. Identity is the perimeter. We're logging into cloud systems. We're giving AI its own identity, right? Machine identity. You can log in from your phone, log in from your laptop. Pretty soon you'll have a neural link. You can log in there. Identity is where it's at. The idea of the castle with the moat and the alligators in the moat and the guards, guns, and gates, that's quaint, but that's 1991, right? 2026, identity is where it's at, which is why I lose my mind about not having multi-factor authentication in place. Multi-factor authentication is not bulletproof, but do you know what happens if you steal my password? You don't log in because you get challenged for MFA. I make the hurdle higher. 2/3 of all initial intrusions started at the identity. You don't need a more compelling argument on pivoting and making identity-based risk a priority. If you, listen, just based on this first paragraph, if you make identity a priority and securing the identity and, detecting identity compromise and responding to identity compromise, you will be addressing the majority of initial network intrusions. The majority. And by the way, I say this all the time. If you take out the first step, steps 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 don't happen. 6, 7. Listen, if you take out the first step, the rest of the attack sequence doesn't happen. And believe me, if you look at these, process flow diagrams of attacks and stuff, once they're pulling down second stage payloads, you're screwed. That machine is pwned. It's over. You're done. Stop it at the beginning. Conditional access, MFA, just shutting down accounts when you don't need them anymore. Having visibility over these things, looking for large data exfil coming from an account or from an endpoint under a certain permission, right? All these things. Social engineering is the leading attack method. They're attacking the human. Again, my guy, social engineering is easy to educate end users on. The one thing, listen, I'm going to drop a link to this story. If you want to read it, go ahead. I think it's I don't want to say it's simple, but it's crystal clear. 2/3 of attacks start with some type of identity-based compromise. Either you have crappy passwords, you don't have MFA, some mixture of all of that. You fall for things and give your sessions up. You store your passwords in the browser, okay? All these things. Also, I want to tell you all this too, okay? And I believe this wholeheartedly. I've seen a couple reports. This is a hot take. So do me a favor. You newcomers, you very likely don't have access to the emote tray. But for everybody who's a squad member, please, tinfoil hat. The tinfoil hat is just a fun way of having a qualifier that I'm about to say something that's a hot take, not grounded in evidence. Here we go. In 2026, when you add AI and OpenClaw and automation, N8N, all these things, you pair it with Criminal Minds, not the TV show, just people who are criminally motivated, and deepfake technology, including fake voice, fake video. I believe there is going to be, as much as ClickFix was the rage in Q4 of 2025, I genuinely believe that social engineering at scale, because of AI's relentless 24/7 capability, is going to be a massive problem. your phone is going to be blowing up. They're like, literally, there could be like a borderline denial of service attack of just AI calling you, right? Just, I honestly believe, like, between just the things I just told you, AI can go 24/7 if you put enough tokens in the machine. AI is getting better. Opus 4.6, like Anthropic's talking about, it's sentient, okay? Whether you believe that or not, I don't know. I mean, I think we're marching down that path anyways, but I digress. So I would try to get in front of it now. Like, have a, if you don't already, just protect yourself. Of course, tinfoil hat, I've built a prepper tablet at this point. Have a code word for your family, whatever it is. The ability to like simulate your voice, come up with a compelling social engineering pretext, and call your spouse. It's trivial in 2026, especially with data breaches happening all the time where your phone number and name are part of the data breach. Feed it into AI and let it go buck wild. So have a code word. I know it's going to be crazy. I know if someone calls you and they're like, I'm being held against my will, they're going to murder me. And you're like, give me your code word. It seems insensitive, but I'm telling you, it's a small control you can put in. But 2026 is going to be the year of that.
For not deleting files. Last week, a 40-year-old Dutch man contacted police saying he had an image that could be related to an ongoing investigation. An officer responded, intending to send a secure upload link, but actually sending a download link to confidential documents. After realizing the error, police told the man to delete any documents. The man refused, saying he would do so only if he received something in return. In true mess around with it and find out energy, the police arrested the man, seized his data storage devices, and searched his home. No word on whether any charges will be filed, but a police statement said such behavior could constitute computer trespassing.
Whoa. All right. I mean, this is interesting. I mean, what a dick. I mean, I'm sorry. Excuse me. This is a family-friendly show. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. For the families who watch this and their kids are in the car, where your kids are listening while eating their cereal, I'm sorry. I do not try to do that. All right. So this is really interesting. A police officer just doing his job makes an honest mistake. Okay. Makes an honest mistake, sends them something they shouldn't have, and says, hey man, can you just delete that? I'm sorry. And they're like, what are you going to do for me? So, listen, if you come in possession of illegal material, you can't be like, it's mine now. Like, obviously they arrested this guy to make a point. I would imagine that they're going to like let him go, right? But this is wild. I hope the policeman who accidentally sent the wrong information was also admonished in some capacity. I mean, to me, this is no different than like a bank accidentally putting money in your account and then you being like, it's my money. It's like, no, it's not your money. Like, come on. I wish I could. Is this guy's name in here? Like, I would love to see a picture of this guy. Oh my God, this is in Dutch. Oh. His name isn't here. It's too bad. I would love to see a picture of this guy, see what he looks like. All right. I mean, there's nothing here. Again, here's what I would say. Be careful when you're sending files out, sending sensitive information out, sending links out. This can happen. I will say, if this was a private sector business, right? Like, let's say this is like Phil Stafford, not the Dutch police, and Phil Stafford accidentally sends out confidential information from the company to a non-company employee. It's a little bit different, right? Because Phil can say, hey, delete that, send it back. I shouldn't have sent it to you. And that person can say, no. It's like literally the police I don't want to say the police bent the law here because they are doing what they're supposed to do, but like the police have the capability of arresting the person, right? So this only works in this particular instance. I don't know. I wanted a picture of the Dutch guy who got arrested. See if he looked like a fool.
Backdoor discovered in Android firmware. Researchers at Kaspersky detailed a new Android malware called Kinadu. This malware was found distributed through compromised over-the-air firmware updates, embedded in system apps, third-party app stores, and through Google Play apps. As this suggests, Kinadu comes in various forms, ranging from a malicious app with elevated privileges to a fully embedded firmware. Kaspersky found over 13,000 infected devices located in Brazil, Germany, Japan, the Netherlands, and Russia. Kinadu came pre-installed on devices from multiple OEMs, with one Aldo Cube tablet showing a malicious firmware dating back to August 2023. While Kinadu can operate as a fully capable backdoor that can completely take over a device, operators are currently using it for ad fraud.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business. So much like gateway computers in the 90s, these Android tablets are coming with bloatware installed on them. I'm making a loose thing here. Computers back in the late 90s used to come loaded with so much crap on it that your computer was like instantly slow. But anyways, these Android devices are coming prepackaged with malware on it effectively. You know, when you go to Best Buy and you purchase a brand new tablet, you don't expect it to have malware on it. This is a supply chain attack. Shamiria Gonzalez, 29 months. She says, "Morning, SC nerds. I hope everyone's well. Guess who got accepted into Texas A&M? Oh, yeah. Now, listen, we normally reserve the wrecking ball for getting a job, but Shamiria, let's go." Awesome. That is so cool. Super pumped for you. So listen, this has a logic bomb in it. I do want to well, first of all, number one, if you are using Android tablets, like the Android tablet I just bought, I would check it. Right now it's a Samsung, so chances are it's fine. But if you're worried about this, you should check it. There is a logic bomb in here. I would like to educate you all on what a logic bomb is. Effectively, this malware will not go off if the time zone or the language is associated with China. So obviously, or not obviously, there's a high probability this is a Chinese-based threat actor, right? This is no different than Russia malware authors looking at the keyboard language and saying, okay, this is Cyrillic, so we're not going to detonate. Oh, it's English, detonate. Okay, so that's a logic bomb. If the Google Play Store and Play services are not found on the device, the malware also does not detonate. It's funny that they went through all this trouble and all they're doing is using it for ad fraud, so it's making money.
Straight cash, homie.
This could be like a next level piece of espionage equipment, and instead they're making some money on it. Like I said, I have a Samsung tablet, my Prepper tablet. It's not infected with this stuff. This is like, if you are buying a Android phone or an Android tablet for like $8, that's probably where you'd have this installed. How do they get in the supply chain? Well, I mean, if it's a shady manufacturer who's selling tablets for $8, they're probably open to making some more money if you're picking up what I'm putting down. You can see here, this is some disassembly. Okay, what? Researchers discovered pre-installed malware on certain models of tablets running it called Kinadu. In the graphic, they underline. Hold on, what is this? They underline this, load next stage. I don't know. I mean, this doesn't necessarily scream infection to me, but it is what it is.
Polish police arrest Phobos suspect. Officers from Poland's Central Bureau of Cybercrime Control arrested a 47-year-old man with suspected ties to the Phobos ransomware as a service organization. This came as part of a larger Europol-led effort to target the group dubbed Operation Aether. Authorities seized computers and phones and found credentials and server IP addresses linked to recent Phobos attacks. While Phobos isn't in the news too much lately, back in 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice linked Phobos to breaches at more than 1,000 global entities, receiving ransoms of over $16 million US. Apple
Regulators! Mount up.
All right. Police officers are, you know what? I'll give it to law enforcement, dude. Like Phobos hasn't really been in the news lately, but they were a pretty heavy hitter ransomware threat actor in the past. And, law enforcement putting their stuff together. The 47-year-old gets arrested. This guy is facing charges. Let's see. All right. So I don't know if this was an international law enforcement effort or just Poland's law enforcement effort. But, I guess the only thing to take out of this really quick is that the brain behind the Phobos ransomware seems to have been apprehended. Guys, I tell you this all the time. The only way there's multiple dimensions to it, but the one key thing of disrupting and curbing ransomware operations and getting rid of them is you have to get the human behind it. Because if I know how to run a ransomware as a service thing and I call it Flaming Donkey ransomware, and then Flaming Donkey gets too hot, right? Too hot. I can just rebrand as, Stinky Toad ransomware group, and I'm still the brain behind it, right? Flaming Donkey, Stinky Toad. Ooh, I stepped in it. Ransomware. It doesn't matter, right? When you get the 47-year-old guy who's the brain behind Phobos, that's not rebranding. We're not rebranding anything. Like you've cut the head off the snake. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Round them up. Hold them accountable. Make examples of them.
Expands RCS and memory protections. The latest beta of iOS 26.4 adds limited support for encrypted RCS messages. This is limited to messages between Android devices at the moment, which already have access to end-to-end encrypted iMessage, and there's no word on if and when messages to Android will be supported. The beta also updated Apple's Memory Integrity Enforcement, or MIE, allowing developers to opt into full protections with the feature. Since it was announced in September 2025, Apple only allowed for a soft mode for testing. MIE is meant as a defense against typical spyware attack paths, providing always-on memory protection across the kernel and user-land processes. Have you heard of YouTube?
All right, so check it out. Apple is continuing to not only treat protection and privacy seriously, but they're continuing to make it so communications are more private, right? Again, this is Apple's whole thing, right? For the most part, unless you're in China, I think Apple bent the knee in China and maybe in the UK, but Apple's all about privacy, right? Well, I knew a little bit about this story. I don't research or prep for any of the stories if you didn't know it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But if you're a person who dunks on, I'm in a couple group chats where one guy's an Android guy and we always crap on him for being a green bubble. And I know that's elitist blue bubble stuff, but it is what it is. Apple has been working on RCS. RCS is the communication that allows interoperability between Apple and Android devices. Apple to Apple communications are encrypted end to end, which means that nobody, law enforcement or whoever, can intercept in the middle. But if you're talking with an Android person, it can be. So this RCS encryption is designed to help that. I don't know anything about the memory protections. Honestly, you should have already patched to 26.4 because there was a massive, very sophisticated 0-day being exploited. No one was targeting me because I'm nobody, but there was a really high-end exploit going around. I want to quickly share this with you. This is Matt Johansson. You might know him at Vulnerable You. He makes great content. His channel only has 21,000 subs on it on YouTube. But like literally, I know about this particular story because Matt did a short, this one right here, talking about RCS and what it means and why it means all those things. So I think this is cool. If you are interested and would like to hear more about this specific story and get Matt's hot take on it and learn his style, I'm going to drop a link in chat right now. And I'm serious. Hopefully you guys know I don't normally just pump anyone whose content, but like I watch Matt's content. I am into Matt's content, and I think it's very good. He goes down more of a deep technical level if you're into that. So giddy up on that. Computer, play. All right, yo. That is going to do it for Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. This was episode 1071. Let's see. I am the real big. Sam Aid. Other first timers. Hi. I hope you guys, all you first timers, I hope you had a wonderful experience today. I hope you come back tomorrow. Bring a friend. For all the long timers, Simply Cyber Squad members, Simply Cyber community members, thank you. As always, it's an absolute privilege to serve this community on the daily. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Don't go anywhere because we've got the next show coming right up. And you first timers who are like, what are you talking about, Jerry? We do another show right now. I can't mentor one-on-one, but I can do a 30 minutes every day and help people out. So that's what we're going to do right now. It's called Jawjacking. Don't go anywhere. I'll take care of it. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. My name is Jerry Guy. As you can tell by the glasses, I am not Dr. Gerald Auger. Do I look like a nerd? Bro, calm down about your Cellebrite and your Pegasus spyware. Catalina wine mixer. You're trying to be cool with that Step Brothers reference, you dork. No, I'm all about good times and helping people out. So let's party. You put a question in chat with a Q, I'll answer it. Let's go. Angular says, worried about the future with work and inflation, trying to live in the moment. How do you stay positive? This is a question for everybody in the chat to share. Also, Angular, thanks for the 25 months, 2+ years of community support. I'm a control freak, Angular, so I'm trying to control, like, for better or worse. I built that Prepper tablet. It's probably theater for myself. If anyone's wondering, the Prepper tablet, it basically has an offline version of all of Wikipedia, an offline version of Google Maps, an offline version of field medicine, like military field medicine, an offline, the Gutenberg project, all the published books within that. It's like 200 gigs of books, and an offline version of basically like how to fix like anything mechanical. It's if we get kicked off the internet, right, permanently for whatever reason. I worry for my children, honestly. I don't want to get dark with everybody here. If you want, when we're in person and there's, I'm happy to go deep into all these conversations. All I would say is, hope for the best. It can't help but, want to survive and persevere. All right. All right, BW says it's a gold medal for value. Thank you. What is a squad member? I am the real big. So I am the real big on, if you are on YouTube, there should be like a join button. It allows you to get membership. It's just like a fun little thing. It's like if you want to support the channel, the membership levels are $2 a month or $5 a month. They're deliberately low. But when you get access to being a squad member, you get the emote tray. The $2 level and the $5 level are identical. It's just a fun thing we do. And a lot of people have said, I would love to support you, Jerry. I would love to support your work. How can I do it? So I set up the squad member membership thing. And I'm sure YouTube loves it too, because they get 30% of everything. So for every $2 membership, YouTube takes like 50 cents or whatever. Runfish, hopefully I answered that question for you. James McQuiggan, what's up, James McQuiggan? Good to see you, as always. All right, Calvin says, hey, Jerry, you mentioned that moisturizer. Yeah, let me see if I can find that really quickly. I looked at the title. AE. I think it starts with AE. All right. Yeah, here it is. I don't know where to buy it. One second. This is the this is it right here. And again, my wife is the moisturizer expert. This is it right here. It's what? Oh my God, bro. It's this one right here, I think. It's definitely this brand, AESTURA. I think this is the one I put on my face. There we go. So thanks for asking. I was using the Hydro Boost thing, but Mrs. Auger just put this in front of me and said, this is better. Use this. And I said, okay. I don't question it when it comes to a product like that. She knows what's up. Cyber Saint Steven says, I'm starting my first full cyber job on Monday. I was told I need to brush up on Azure and O365. Any good resources to start? Cyber Saint Steven, I think you've buried the headline here, bro. Like, let's go.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Dude, so sick. So sick. Yeah, hey, if it were me, best place you can go, my man, is right here. Microsoft actually has all of the training for free. 1,500 results for Azure. Just dig in there. Go look for the Cyber Saint Steven. Go look for the AZ900 training. Alpha Zulu 900 training. You don't get the cert. You already have the job, right? But look at the AZ900 training. That is definitely where you want to start. All right, here I'm actually going to what's his name? Cyber Saint Steven. Here's your answer. Good luck, dude. Super pumped for you. All right, continuing to look at chat. In yesterday's episode, there was a story you said you needed more time to read. It was compromised password managers. Maybe not. Any new updates? No, BW. It was with password vaults, and Bitwarden was mentioned quite a bit with the research. I haven't had a chance to dig in. I had to teach yesterday, and yesterday was just a very busy day. And Kimberly Can Fix It actually had shared something in chat that made it seem like it was less of a concern. But yes, as I learn more about it, I will comment back. Zero keystrokes. Any plans for Discord server if ID verification goes through? No, we haven't talked about that yet. So I don't know. I don't know where else to run the community if not Discord. You know what I mean? So let me know if the mods have a thought. We can certainly look into it. Honestly, I know that there's some concern around Discord ID verification being like a privacy infraction. In the last week, we have had to ban so many people from the server. It's like kind of crazy. Like we've had people who are, I would argue are like mentally unhealthy. We've had people who are harassing. We've had obviously scammers and fraudsters. It's like kind of crazy. Goat Dude or Goat Doodoo says, it's first time here. Is it okay to start a new journey in cyber at age 35? Yes, sir. For sure. Yeah. There's no like, dude, hey, Goat Doodoo. A lot of people do cyber as a second career. Like, it's not uncommon to take all your experiences from whatever you did before and bring it into cyber. Akil George, I don't know if you need a prepper tablet. That's up to you, man. I have a safe with passports, cash, a prepper tablet now. You know, potentially a pistol. I don't want to give away all my secrets. Lazaro, long timer. I was given the opportunity to write my very first detection rule and have to present it to my IR team later. Not best at presenting. Any tips to get over nervousness? Yeah, I mean, Lazaro, I wish someone had told me this, because I publicly speak in front of hundreds of people every day. You know, I've done up to, probably 1,200 people live in person. So and early on, I just kind of was like super anxious and just leaned into it until I got more comfortable. What I would say for you, here's what I would do, because you don't want to memorize a script because that's going to feel awkward. Just make a very rough outline and maybe put it in front of you, right? Like, like maybe the outline is introduction, what the threat is that the detection's checking, what the detection is, and, next steps or follow-ups or whatever, and then Q&A. Like, if you just have kind of a basic outline, you can make sure that you are just sticking to what you're doing. If you can, with an outline, it allows you to kind of freestyle and drift off, but then you can like get back on track by just going to the next outline bullet. That's what I would say. Make a YouTube for prepper, please. Oh, Berlinda. Yeah, thank you. Maybe. See, the thing is, that kind of content doesn't align with Simply Cyber's other content, so it could be poor for the channel itself. Maybe I can just build it and then make the video available to people, less like unlisted. Silence Poet, I've been in this role since August, and I wonder if there's a course on office tools for cyber, like Excel, Power BI, and such. Otherwise, thanks for convincing me to go into GRC. It's awesome. My pleasure, Silence Poet. Yeah, there aren't really a lot of great, like, cyber-specific content around, like, how to use Power BI for cyber, or, like, how to use Power BI to make a vulnerability management dashboard. Honestly, it's more about like just understanding that the tools are capable of certain things and doing it that way. Justin Gold, I believe Justin Gold knows how to make a good Power BI dashboard. Sorry, Silence Poet. Hey, if anyone in chat has a suggestion on office tools for cyber content, please share it in chat. Again, I just don't know of any off the top. Mad Destroyer, not only a coffee aficionado and one heck of a Magic the Gathering Commander player, he's given gifted memberships away.
Wow! We just become best friends. Yep.
Thank you very much, Mad Destroyer. Appreciate the support. And for all those new squad members, Goat Doodoo, Ghost and Cheese, Reaper, etc., enjoy those. We're going to go to 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, so we got 15 minutes left of this hangout and Q&A. So please, if you have a question, don't be shy. Get it into chat right now. Steve Young, my man, I need to get with you. Can you @ me on General on Discord so I can get you your Amazon gift card for being the community member of the week? All right. All right. And Angela Wolverton says, playing with Splunk bots and would like to practice writing investigation reports. Suggestions on where to find some to read as examples. Ooh, that's a good question. That's a very good question. Casually Joseph, do you have any thoughts on this one? I don't know where there are like sample investigation reports. I assume that you're talking about like kind of a write-up on an incident. I will say, for me personally, I like I learned this in the healthcare industry, which does this for clinical stuff, for like, clinician to clinician handoff, physician to physician handoff. The SBAR format. Hold on, let's see if I can find a good. Again, this is more in healthcare, but I found it was practical. SBAR. So if you're writing like an investigative report, you cover these 4 areas. What's the situation, right? Describe, what's the situation, right? There was an incident. Here are my indicators to suggest that this was compromised. A background. This could be about the actual threat actor, the TTP, or the environment itself. Like, the background is we don't have MFA. The background is we, detected that this endpoint was compromised through intelligence we got from Flare, threat intelligence platform, whatever. Assessment would be your take on the current situation, like assessing, like this is bad. This is going to result, if left unmitigated, this is going to turn into a real problem. This is the 5th time that this person has done this and will continue to be a problem. And then recommendation. What do you suggest we do? Fire the person, reimage the laptop, go threat hunting for certain TTPs, etc. Again, I don't think that this is accepted as a standard within the SOC or Security Operations Center for analysts to write investigative reports, but this is how I would do it without, because I've worked on blue team stuff, but usually as a small team. So I've never worked in a proper SOC or an MDR. Casually, Joseph, if you got a thought, drop it, please, in chat. I'm trying to get caught up. Casually, Joseph. B. Duncan says, what's your thoughts on Purview? I am not familiar with Purview. Let's see. Okay, so I guess Purview is a Microsoft thing. Safeguard your data with a unified approach, decrease. All right, so this is like Microsoft's solution to AI governance. I don't have an opinion on this one, B. Duncan third. This seems like something that would require quite a bit of evaluation. Don't even get me started on DLP. Here's the thing. The only thing I would say about Microsoft Purview is it probably is good because Microsoft has the money to make it good. But if you're going to rely on this for your data governance and your data protection, especially in the world of AI, you would have to have a foundational support of nobody is allowed to use anything in this business besides Microsoft product, right? Because the second you start using ChatGPT or Claude or whatever and sending data out, that would be outside the scope of, that would be outside the purview of Purview. LOL. You see what I'm saying? So like this could be a fine product. It's going to turn into policy and tone at the top for it to be effective. Okay. IRC question mark. I don't know. I'm going to guess what you're saying here. That stands for Internet Relay Chat. It's like the old chat messenger, like in the 90s. How's Claw networked? What did you learn from booting perspective? Oh, if you're talking about my AI bot, this guy back here, Karn, it's Karn, Karn, Karn. And I don't know what you mean by booting perspective, but like essentially the Mac, it's a Mac Mini. It's on my network. It's isolated on its own network segment. It is not allowed to communicate with any other devices on my home network. It is not allowed to receive inbound network traffic. It is only allowed to communicate outbound to, well, it's allowed to communicate outbound, obviously. The only, like I have it basically ACL'd on what devices can speak to Karn. Now, obviously, if Karn is getting prompt injected because it read a website that has a prompt injection, that is a problem. But I'm also, from a data governance perspective, very compartmentalized on what Karn has access to. So there's a lot of things that I'm managing as like two separate data sets, and one is like sanitized, and Karn sees that one, not the unsanitized version. So yeah, maybe Slack. We could possibly use Slack. Phil Stafford says, let's say I have a new open source project I just released. What's the best way to promote it without look like I'm shamelessly plugging myself? Phil Stafford, DM me in chat right now, and I will bring it up. We could talk about it. I will shamelessly plug you. Also, and this is a standard practice for everybody, and I know Phil has heard me say this 1,000 times. Phil, share it on LinkedIn. Help people experience the journey. One pro tip that everybody should learn: you shouldn't say this open project that Phil has. Don't wait until you get to the end and reveal your big project. Show the steps along the way. Get people on the boat with you. Get people hyped with you, and do all those things. All right. Don't wait till the very end, because the journey is oftentimes as valuable as the destination. The journey is just as valuable as the destination. Thank you. Chris Frazier, how you guys doing? Good to see you, Chris. I'm good. All right, here we go. All right, we're taking a quick look at Phil Stafford's open project. This thing looks hotter than a $3 pistol. You know what I'm saying? This is the trust layer for AI tools. I'm going to drop a link to this in chat. Phil, give us 30 seconds on what we need to know about this AI tool from Phil Stafford. All right, I just dropped that in chat. I'm actually going to pin it. This is the pinned comment, so everybody can check it out. All right, we'll come back. All right, this is a vulnerability scanner and attestation registry for AI tools, starting with OpenClaw and MCP servers. Phil, tell me how to get started with this. What's step one? It's cool what it is, but tell me, make this operational for me. In fact, if we do this, Phil, I'll just make a YouTube video for it. You know what I'm saying? And then we can really light this candle. All right, continuing to look at people's questions. If you got a question in chat, drop it in there. Let's see. I am the real big says, drop a script for assembling one to members. I've looked over the prepper disc at the $80 over the cost of hardware isn't unreasonable to save time. Yeah, you know what? I actually thought about selling these things. Basically, I'll give you all the stuff. You can build it yourself. But if you want to just push an easy button, I'll send you one. The problem is, it's not a problem, but it takes time. But yeah, the script might not be bad. I'm still finishing building it. You know what? Actually, the last thing I need to do, I want the wallpaper of the tablet to be interesting, and I'm trying to decide between Morse code, ham radio frequencies, etc., or knots and visualization of knots. Let me ask this crew right here. If you had a prepper tablet, right, the wallpaper you can see without unlocking it. The wallpaper is always right there. So to me, instead of having a stupid flower, it would be very valuable to have some information that would be very useful. You'd want to see it often, looking and just be able to tap the tablet and see it. I would love what people's thoughts are on this one. Velvet Bandit starting WGU next month. Congratulations. Richard Duff cleaned up his LinkedIn. Got to make a GitHub. Currently building a full enterprise-grade, fully locked down AI business server. Damn, dude. Yes, Richard. That is absolutely good for the portfolio. And Richard, don't wait until you've built it fully, right? Public accountability is one hell of a way to keep yourself accountable. So announce that you're doing this and then tell people if they want to follow your journey to, subscribe or follow or whatever, because you're going to be sharing updates every Monday or whatever, and then do it. Does Jerry have his own YouTube separate from Simply Cyber? No, I mean, I had an idea once of a separate YouTube channel. It was Simply Cyber Cafe. It's this channel right here. Okay, you can see there's a lot of retro synthwavy stuff. Maybe I could use this channel. The thing is, I'm with all due respect, I'm ridiculously busy. So to running a YouTube channel, I don't know, according to Marcus Kyler, it's easy, but I'm telling you right now, it's not. To do it well, and I don't even do it well. To do it well, it's very, very time consuming. So to run a second channel, it's just difficult for me to do that. But if there was one here, I'll drop a link in chat. If you guys want to like and subscribe or whatever, I will maybe at some point do it. I will tell you, there's not a lot of spam happening on that channel. Okay. Starting WGU. Yeah, Professor Messer is awesome for Sec Plus. Period. Full stop. I'm scrolling chat right now. It's Levincia. I'm working for healthcare. I wanted to know if you have any tips for standing out on the vulnerability management team. I'm curious if you have any if you or Team SCI have ideas. Yeah. So, I did vulnerability management, at least in part, at a academic medical center. I think Levincia, having metrics around like medical devices, maybe having vulnerabilities around legacy systems, because there's a ton of those running around. Like calling those out would be valuable, right? Like, so almost kind of compartmentalizing vulnerability management. I'm talking about reporting right now. So standing out that way. Also, if you want to really stand out, being practical in your risk reduction suggestions. Okay, so like I'll give you a perfect example. At MUSC, we had this absolutely mission critical custom solution that was stupid. It was like an absolutely ridiculous app. The company that wrote this app went out of business 15 years ago, and we had hired the lead developer as like a 1099 contractor to be available to just like basically turn a wrench every once in a while when the thing broke, okay? And then that contractor, after 15 years, was like, I don't even want to work anymore. I want to retire and just be done with it. So, like, this thing was not going to get any more updates, but it was so custom that the business was like, we're not getting rid of it. So, like, I was like, all right, how do we manage risk, right? So we built like a little Raspberry Pi firewall, stuck it in line so that like it was a choke point. You could only get to this app if you were, from a certain IP address, certain users. The use cases were specific. The time you could use it was specific. So like coming up with creative solutions to enable business operations to happen while managing risk. Also from a vulnerability management, you might want to start thinking about third-party risk. Access from those third parties, not giving them full, all access to your entire IP range. That is attack surface. You maybe want to even do spin a side project up where you're evaluating the access that third party vendors have and what they have access to and starting to lock that down. What kind of weak password? What kind of is a weak password for a certificate used to send push notifications? I don't understand this question. I'm sorry. A weak password? If you're interested in weak passwords, this is a great little resource. This is from 2023, so for sure it's slightly outdated, but this is a great little graphic right here. Okay, I'll drop a link to this in chat. So the real Kyle or at Kyle. I can't send this. The link is too long. Just Google password crack graph and you'll see it. But anyways, you can see here, depending on, what your needs are, the more complex the password. So, 3,000 years for number, upper, lower, lettercase letters, and 13 character length. So there you go. Anything, I would say this, anything that has instantly crackable, the purple is a crappy password. All right, we are at 9:30. I'm now going to speed run because I hate leaving you guys hanging, but at the same time, I'm trying to make this a 30-minute show. Let's go. All right, Phil Stafford, thanks for sharing your tool and clarifying. All right, guys, we are at the end of the show. I want to say thank you all so very much for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. I'm Jerry Guy. I'm Dr. Gerald Auger from Simply Cyber. Today's Wednesday, the 18th. So just remember, tomorrow is Simply Cyber Firesides. We are doing a all-female takeover. Kathy Chambers is wrestling the microphone away from me, and she will be hosting Simply Cyber Firesides. Do I Belong Here? Imposter Syndrome in Cybersecurity. This is not just for the ladies. It will be an all-lady panel, but this is not just for ladies. If you deal with imposter syndrome, you will get value from the stream. Come on down, support the channel, have fun. I hope you got value from today's episode. Guys, have a great Wednesday, and until next time, stay secure.